Good evening, everyone. My name is Prakash Singh. I'm a research scholar in economics in the Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities and Social Sciences, National Institute of Technology, Mizoram. The title of our paper is Socio-Economic Consequences of Armed Conflicts in Manipur. The paper is co-authored with Dr. Kontujung Gyanendra Singh, Associate Professor in Economics in the same department. So, to begin, let us first try to situate where Manipur is located. Manipur is one of the 8 northern states of India bordering with Myanmar. It is the most insurgency-ridden state with more than 30 insurgent groups from different communities such as Meitei, Naga, Kuki, Jomi, Mar, and the Muslims operating in the state. According to the annual report 2019-20 of Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, the state accounted for about 57% of the total insurgency-related incidents in the northern region. The state is also known for its insurgency-related activities, deteriorating law and order situation, human rights violation, rampant corruption, economic underdevelopment, high unemployment rate, drug trafficking and addictions, etc. A fear psychosis and a great sense of insecurity became pervasive due to frequent cases of kidnapping, killing, threat, and extortions, frequent violations of human rights that take place at the hands of the insurgents as well as of the security forces. Genesis and the dynamics of armed conflicts in Manipur. Militancy movement in Manipur began as soon as India got independence with the formation of Red Guard Army in March 1950. The present unrest of Manipur has to be seen in the context of its long history of independence, circumstances of merger of Manipur with the Indian Union in 1949, and the consequent lost pride and the glory of the political status of the state. In spite of state repressive measures, number of insurgent groups for its community has been increased. Some are fighting for restoration of lost sovereignty, some are fighting for an independent state, while some are for greater autonomy within the Indian Constitution. Interstate, intra-state conflicts as well as inter-ethnic conflicts can be seen in the state. Besides the armed conflict, there are other forms of conflicts such as ethnic, religious, social, political also can be seen in the Manipur. There are also derivatives of armed conflicts such as burn, strike, blockades, and lockdowns. When we study the cause of conflicts in Manipur, we cannot rule out these derivatives of armed conflict. So we have to see it together as a consequences of cause of armed conflicts in Manipur. Conflicts may have many diverse economic, social, political, and cultural consequences. Depending on the purpose and the objective of the study, conflicts may have direct cause, indirect cause, immediate cause, and long-term effects, adverse effects, as well as positive impacts of conflicts. Direct costs are calculated as the loss of human life, damage of physical capital, and the cost of their reconstruction. Indirect effect includes the loss of production, uncertainty, and escalation of the cost of transporting goods in a safe manner, the loss of tourism benefits, high unemployment, and missing investment. Adverse effects of armed conflicts in Manipur. Growth of militancy in Manipur has negatively impacted upon the development and the well-being of the people of Manipur. Let us now discuss in what way these militancy or these armed conflicts affected the people as well as the economy of Manipur. 1. Physical damages, that is loss of life and property. People were killed, maimed, and there were forced disappearances because of this ongoing armed conflict. According to Ministry of Home Affairs, during 2002 to 2019, there were 6,351 fatalities in insurgency-linked violence in Manipur. Out of these, 988 were civilians, 356 security forces, and the number of terrorists killed during this parade was 5,007. Besides this parade, during 80s and 90s, number of fatalities were even more because these were the periods which were marked by high intensity of conflicts. Public buildings, houses, and other infrastructures were also destroyed. Second, full of uncertainties. A fear psychosis and a great sense of insecurity became pervasive due to frequent cases of kidnapping, killing, threat, and extortion. Frequent violations of human rights that take place at the hands of the insurgents as well as of the security forces. People are leading a life which is full of uncertainties, and the life has become very insecure with its passing days. In short, there was no security of life at all. Third, diversion of funds and resources. Both public and the government divert their valuable time, energy, and money to cope with the prevailing situation, that is, from productive to non-productive. They could have utilized these resources for income-earning activities if there were no armed conflicts. So now people are hardly able to engage in income-earning activities. Fourth, vicious cycle of insurgency and underdevelopment. Economy of Manipur is trapped into the vicious cycle of insurgency and underdevelopment. The brutal method of land appropriation by the insurgent groups has made fresh private investment risky and insecure, and thus caused flight of private capital from the state. Low investment in turn has led to low income generation and limited economic openings. This has led to high unemployment in the state. A section of the unemployed youth, in absence of alternatives, join militancy. Thus, the vicious cycle of insurgency and underdevelopment continues to operate in Manipur. This vicious cycle operates at multiple levels. A huge amount of fund is raised by the insurgent groups through extortions, and the lion's share of that fund is used for unproductive purposes. A significant part of it goes out of the state to buy arms and ammunition and other logistics. This drain of resources keeps the economy perpetually underdeveloped. Development projects are heavily extorted. This has led to poor capital formation and the perpetuation of underdevelopment in the state. A significant size of students moved out of the state, particularly for higher education after 10th and 10 plus 2. The overall insecure environment acts as push factor as parents want to keep their wards out of the theater of war. As a result, while the institutional resources in the state remains underutilized, a sizable fund moves out of the state in the form of transfer income in order to support the children who study. Many of them are reluctant to come back to the state after training higher education because of the insecure environment and lack of job opportunities in the state. There are other evil practices like corruption, drug smuggling, human trafficking, threat in arms and ammunition, besides human rights violations and the suppression of freedom of speech as consequences of armed conflict. Positive impacts of armed conflicts. Besides those adverse consequences of armed conflicts, there are also very few positive impacts of the armed conflict in Manipur, as expressed by significant number of respondents. Conflicts brought changes. Government of India starts giving attention to the voices of the people. They can no more remain silent. Government started infrastructure development and job creation to divert educated youth's minds so that youth are restrained from the path of violence. According to them, whatever changes in the very little in attitude are because of the conflict. If there were no conflicts, Government of India would have continued the same attitude of negligence. So-called development projects being taken up in the state recently might not have been taken up. In other words, Government of India started respecting the sentiments of the people of the state. While concluding, we can say that though few positive aspects of the conflicts are there, the prices people are currently paying are very high. Long-term cost of the conflict will even be more huge. The legacy of the conflict will last for many decades even after the present conflict is resolved. Thank you all.